Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And of course, this is Monday Night Raw's go-home show for Survivor Series WarGames, which is this Saturday. And Monday Night Raw tonight, after a awesome, good show was last week in the Garden for John Cena's last time at MSG, and going into this week's Monday Night Raw, this show was absolutely mediocre, in my opinion. Coming off of a good, hot show it was last week. And the show, of course, did nothing to hype us up for Survivor Series this Saturday. Tonight we had the quarterfinals of the Last Time Is Now tournament. We had Gunther, and he had taken on Carmelo HAYES. Rey Mysterio was in action, and he had taken on McDonagh. We also had another quarterfinals match in the Last Time Is Now tournament where it was Sikoa versus Penta, which I'll get to that when I talk about it. And the main event, you had a men's WarGames advantage match, where either the face or the heels will get the advantage in WarGames this Saturday. So it was Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and they have taken on the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Of course, we had a horrible, abysmal Rey Mysterio segment where he was calling out John Cena, and we didn't get John Cena. We got a dwarf mini John Cena. Something that Vince McMahon would book. Awful fucking shit that was. And of course, you had the women's WarGames competitors come out for a segment which I didn't give a fuck about. But overall, Monday Night Raw, very mediocre show this was. Last week's show was so much better than this week's show. And like I said, the show did nothing to hype us up going into Survivor Series on Saturday. And I know I haven't done a video since Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was, where I posted the Joe Hendry video from NXT Gold Rush, which I did attend, and it was a very good show. Hot crowd we were there at the theater in MSG. It was a very good show it was. But after that, I was sick for the past days. I had bronchitis, which, it's going away. I still have a lingering cough. So, but getting much better. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw open up tonight with Roman Reigns, the OTC. He ended up coming out, big ovation from the crowd in Oklahoma City for Roman. Of course, Roman took his time coming to the ring. He got a lot of pyro going off. So he then made his way into the ring. He got on the mic. He kept saying, "Oklahoma City, acknowledge me." And this led to Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, coming out. Cody Rhodes made his way to the ring. Big ovation for Cody there in Oklahoma City. And of course, Cody had his right eye. It was swollen after what we saw on SmackDown on Friday, which SmackDown, I gotta say, was a pretty decent show, in my opinion. It didn't insult my intelligence like it does every single week. So, Reigns didn't look too pleased. by Cody coming out. So Cody ended up getting into the ring. He got on the mic. He ended up saying, "So, Oklahoma City, what do you want to talk about?" Cody ended up saying that he thought this would be different. He ended up saying that he acknowledges that Reigns is a man of his word. And the last time that Reigns gave him his word, it was for a match. Cody ended up saying this time, it's for war. Cody ended up saying that he told everyone who listened why he's involved in WarGames and what's in it for Roman. So we had the crowd ended up chanting OTC. So Reigns ended up saying that the last time he checked, he's been in this war. He ended up saying that Cody is just now joining it. And he ended up saying that Cody doesn't like him. And that he doesn't like Cody. Reigns ended up saying that they don't even know each other that well. And that there is one thing that Cody knows about him. And vice versa. So Reigns ended up saying that him and Cody don't play around when it comes to their family. Roman ended up saying that half of this team is his family. He ended up saying before they were on Cody's team, they were in his bloodline. He ended up saying that means he's been invested in the Usos for a long time, and he's going to see this through. To which Cody was like to Roman, "I understand." He then ended up saying to Roman, "Welcome to my team." So Cody put his hand out for Roman to shake Cody's hand. But CM Punk ended up coming out. Punk ended up heading to the ring. Crowd was fired up for Punk there. So Punk ended up standing between Cody and Roman. He got on the mic and he ended up asking, "Is it great to be alive on a Monday night in Oklahoma City or what?" So Punk ended up saying, "Oklahoma City, acknowledge us." To which the crowd ended up liking that. So Punk ended up saying that this is a good occasion to use Reigns' gimmick because this is an all-star WarGames. Punk ended up going on to say that he doesn't need Reigns' word because last year at WarGames, he saved his life. Reigns ended up saying 4 months later, "You ruined it." So Punk ended up saying, "I'm not worried about you stabbing me in the back because he'd be stabbing his cousin's back." So Punk ended up saying that Reigns wouldn't do that to his family. Cody ended up saying that they're all on the same team. And Punk ended up wondering how this became Cody's team. So Punk was like to Cody, "This is a SmackDown or USA Network. This is Monday night. And this is Netflix." Punk ended up saying that Cody can be the quarterback on Friday. But here, he's the champ. So Reigns ended up telling Punk and Cody to measure them up already. Reigns ended up saying that he doesn't care whose team it is. He ended up saying that he doesn't like either Punk or Cody. He ended up saying that the only thing they can agree on is that he hates Paul Heyman and the Vision. To which Reigns ended up saying that's his promise. He ended up saying that he hates Heyman and the Vision more than he hates both Cody and Punk. So Roman was like, "Oh, well, since you two are being honest, that title will look so much better on my shoulder." So that's a little tease maybe by Mr. OTC there. So Punk ended up wanting to know who Reigns was talking about because Reigns walked off and Reigns was not clear who he was talking to, either to Punk or to Cody. So Reigns chuckled and he ended up telling both Punk and Cody to figure it out. And pretty much that was how the segment ended. But overall, this was a very good segment to open the show. 3 of the top guys in the ring together made for a good, entertaining segment. And then we had Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was begging Drew McIntyre not to do anything reckless, since he is still under suspension. So Paul Heyman ended up saying to McIntyre that he picked him for the WarGames Advantage match, which is now a tag team match. So Logan Paul ended up saying that everyone knows McIntyre's opponent is Brock Lesnar. So Paul Heyman warned Logan Paul not to speak of Brock Lesnar's name. So Logan Paul thinks that Drew McIntyre's partner could be Braun Breaker. To which Paul Heyman was like, no. Logan Paul was like, oh, it's a Bronson Reed. Paul Heyman was like, no. But then Logan Paul was like, is it me? And Paul Heyman ended up saying, wise choice. So pretty much that was basically that. Which that set up, of course, the men's Survivor Series WarGames Advantage match later on. Tag team match. And then we had the first match of the night. Gunther. He had taken on Carmelo Hayes in the quarterfinal match of the Last Time Is Now tournament. Good match this was. Really enjoyed this match. Although, going into this match, I expected this match to be a squash match. But, no, Carmelo Hayes actually put up a fight against Gunther here tonight. So the match got underway. Carmelo Hayes ended up starting off and, just kicking away at Gunther. Gunther quickly ended up knocking Carmelo Hayes down. Gunther got on the turnbuckles to taunt the crowd. Carmelo Hayes ended up pulling Gunther down and delivered a springboard DDT, to which he went for the cover, and Gunther kicked out. So we had Carmelo Hayes end up going for a springboard, but Gunther chopped Carmelo Hayes out of midair. Gunther then started chopping away at Hayes, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Gunther had the upper hand in the match. He was absolutely dominating on Carmelo Hayes. Gunther ended up delivering some chops and strikes to Hayes. Hayes fought back with a boot, but Gunther ended up quickly laying Hayes out with a flapjack. And Gunther followed up that with a butterfly suplex, to which he went for the cover, and Hayes ended up kicking out. Gunther then pulled Hayes to his feet. He chopped Hayes back down. Gunther then ended up pulling Hayes up. Hayes ducked and jumped on Gunther's back to lock in a sleeper hold, to which Gunther backed Hayes into the corner, and Hayes had to break off the sleeper. Hayes then ended up booting Gunther back. He ended up going for a springboard, but Gunther booted Hayes out of midair. Gunther then ended up going for a powerbomb. Hayes then countered the powerbomb into a DDT, to which then Monday Night Raw went to another commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Gunther once again had the upper hand in the match, where he attempted a powerbomb to Hayes, but Hayes countered with a sunset flip attempt. Gunther ended up chopping Hayes. He ended up going for another chop, but Hayes stunned him with the first 48. So Hayes ended up going for the first 48 a second time. Gunther caught Hayes and dumped him over the top rope. So at the end of the match, we had Gunther end up connected with a powerbomb to Hayes, to which he ended up going for the cover. Hayes kicked out. Gunther elbowed Hayes in the chest, applied his sleeper on Hayes. Hayes ended up fighting out of it, so Gunther ended up delivering a powerbomb, another powerbomb to Carmelo Hayes. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Gunther ended up winning the match, so he advances to the final four of the Last Time Is Now tournament. And he will either take on Penta or Sikoa, whoever wins the match. But overall, very good match this was. Carmelo Hayes put up a good fight against Gunther, but obviously we all knew that Gunther was going to win this match by far. To me, Gunther is going to be in the final match, and Gunther is going to be the one to face John Cena in his last match on December 13th at Saturday Night's Main Event in Washington, D.C. That's your match right there. Gunther will be John Cena's final opponent. And it should be a good match. Very much looking forward to it. Although tears are going to be shedding after the match ends. For everybody who's grew up watching John Cena. But like I said, good match it was between Gunther and Carmelo Hayes. Then we saw Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. They were talking backstage, and the Usos walked up to them. So the Usos ended up saying to Punk, Reigns, and Cody that they need to be the ones going into the WarGames Advantage match. They ended up saying that they're the best tag team of all time. And pretty much Reigns ended up telling Punk and Cody to fix all this, because the Usos saying, oh, we're in the match. So Punk, Reigns, and Cody never said a word. And that's when Reigns ended up telling Punk and Cody to fix all this. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Dominic Mysterio, the AAA Mega Champion. He was in the ring, and he had a mic in hand. He was shouting at the crowd in Spanish. Dominic ended up saying that he is the king of the luchadors. He ended up saying in a couple of days, to which he got booed by the crowd there in Oklahoma City. He ended up saying that he'll put an end to John Cena's retirement tour. He ended up going to say that this Saturday at Survivor Series, he'll embarrass Cena in his hometown of San Diego and take back his Intercontinental Championship. He ended up saying that at Survivor Series, he'll continue to be the greatest Mysterio of all time. He ended up saying that it doesn't matter if they cheer for John Cena or not. He ended up saying that Cena isn't here. And Dominic ended up saying that he doesn't blame Cena for not wanting to come to this dump. So then we got John Cena's music end up hitting. So Dominic was preparing for confrontation between him and Cena. But of course, Cena was not here tonight. So we got a dwarf, a midget, dressed as John Cena. And we had a midget with a camera that was trying to be, Stu the cameraman. John Cena, when he does his entrance, he always has, the cameraman Stu. He's like, Stu, let's go to work. So there was a midget as Stu the cameraman. So Wade Barrett on commentary calls this midget John Wiener. Yeah, I know what you did there, Wade Barrett. I know what you did. So John Wiener, according to Wade Barrett, he had trouble getting into the ring. He ended up going up the steps. So Dominic ended up saying that he'll save his energy and let Cena walk away because he has no idea what's coming for him at Survivor Series. So this John Wiener says, fine speech, young Dominic, coming from the worst Mysterio of all time. So Wiener ended up saying that if Dominic won't fight him in Oklahoma City, he'll take him out of Survivor Series because the champ is here. So Dominic then booted John Cena down. He ended up delivering the 5-knuckle shuffle. Dominic ended up putting him on the ropes, delivered a 619. Dominic then headed to the top rope, delivered a frog splash, and then we got Rey Mysterio running down. Dominic ended up getting out of the ring, wanting nothing to do with his father. And then the Judgment Day headed to the ring. Of course, Rey Mysterio was going to face Jaden McDonagh after the commercial, and pretty much that was basically that. What an awful fucking segment this was. You know, they're trying to sell me on this rematch with John Cena and Dominic Mysterio, but this did not sell me on it. This was awful and embarrassing to watch. This segment was like if Vince McMahon was there backstage and booked this segment. That's what it felt like. It felt like a Vince McMahon created segment. And I'm like, how did Triple H even approve of this? Awful. Absolutely abysmal and embarrassing. I mean, I like my comedy stuff in wrestling, but it was done good back in the day. Now, it has to, be, at least somewhat okay to, all right, I find this funny. Like, in that type of way. But that's very hard nowadays. What an awful fucking segment this was. This segment did not even sell me John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio on Saturday. No way. After watching this, I'm like, I don't even care if John Cena loses the Intercontinental Championship and it goes back on Dominic Mysterio. I don't care. I don't. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Jaden McDonagh after Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. Good match this was. Match got underway with McDonagh taking it to Rey. Rey ended up fighting back with some strikes. McDonagh ended up reversing the whip. He then ended up hitting a drop toe hold on Rey and dropped the leg. He ended up going for the cover, to which Rey kicked out. McDonagh started clubbing Rey in the back, and he applied a rear chinlock on Rey. Rey fought up and rolled McDonagh up, and McDonagh ended up kicking out. So McDonagh ended up laying out Rey with a clothesline. He then shouldered Rey in his midsection a few times. McDonagh ended up sending Rey into the corner, but Rey got on McDonagh's shoulders in the electric chair position. Rey then started punching McDonagh and pulled him over the top rope. Rey was still on McDonagh's shoulders, so McDonagh ended up hitting an electric chair slam onto the commentary table on the outside, which that was brutal on Rey there. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, McDonagh had the upper hand in the match. He applied an abdominal stretch on Rey. He ended up holding Balor's hand for leverage, which the ref had to break that up. So Rey ended up hitting a hip toss to McDonagh. McDonagh ended up quickly taking Rey down, knocking him to the apron. Rey ended up catching McDonagh with a monkey flip into the ring post. McDonagh ended up holding his shoulder in pain from that ring post. McDonagh then got into the ring, and Rey ended up taking McDonagh out with a flying Cien senton. McDonagh ended up going for a sunset flip, but Rey ended up rolling through and kicked him. So Rey ended up going for a cover, and McDonagh ended up kicking out. He had Rey ended up signaling for the 619. McDonagh ended up kneeing Rey in his midsection. Rey ended up sliding out of a move and hit a enziguri, which knocked McDonagh into position for the 619. Rey ended up hitting the ropes, but McDonagh stunned Rey with a Spanish fly, which that looked great. So McDonagh ended up going for the cover, and Rey kicked out. So Rey ended up dropping McDonagh back into position for the 619. He hit the ropes. Balor tripped Rey up. So this led to Rey goading Balor into getting on the apron. He then ended up sending McDonagh into Balor. So this led to Rey hitting the 619 on McDonagh. Rey then ended up hitting the slingshot splash onto McDonagh. He ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Rey Mysterio ended up winning the match. Post-match, Balor ended up trying to go after Rey, but Rey ended up getting out of the ring. And, there was a little argument between Balor and McDonagh in there. But overall, good match it was between Rey and McDonagh. McDonagh, of course, very good wrestler. Rey, at his age, he's going to be 51. He's still going at it. He still got it at that age. But good match it was. And then we saw Adam Pearce. Raquel Rodriguez was complaining to Adam Pearce about Nikki Bella getting rewarded with a shot at the title after Nikki Bella interfered in Raquel's match. So Pearce ended up saying that she will be in the running, that Raquel will be in the running when the time comes. So then the New Day walks in with Grayson Waller. The New Day were complaining. So Adam Pearce actually ended up giving the New Day a tag team title match against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee next week. So the New Day ended up wanting Pearce to say it. So Pearce was like, "It is official." So the New Day were all excited. Waller ended up giving Adam Pearce a blonde wig. And Pearce ended up angrily dismissing Grayson Waller. So Grayson Waller took the wig off of Adam Pearce. And Adam Pearce was like, "Oh, I need a drink." And that was basically that. So you mean to tell me that the New Day are getting a shot at the tag team titles against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee? What the hell did the New Day do to earn an opportunity? Can anybody explain? Yeah, we'll just give them a fucking tag team title shot. For them doing absolutely nothing. Oh, here's your easy way to get a shot at the tag team titles. You have to compete in some matches. We'll just hand it to you. Here, Kofi. Here, Xavier. Yeah, your shot at the tag team titles. And then the stupid Grayson Waller putting that stupid blonde wig on Adam Pearce. I'm like, what the fuck? Some Vince McMahon book shit here. Then we got the Kabuki Warriors. They were headed to the ring. Becky Lynch and Nia Jax and Lash Legend were already in the ring. This year, heel team for the Women's WarGames match. I am not looking forward to this Women's WarGames match. I mean, if your Women's WarGames match has Lash Legend in it, expect it to be awful. Also, Nia Jax as well. Did you see last week on Monday Night Raw, Nia Jax, how she couldn't even sell those kendo stick shots? Oh my god. So Becky got on the mic. She ended up saying that she knows everyone is upset about the injustice she suffered last week on Raw, because she lost the title to Maxine Dupree because of help from AJ Lee, which, that was fucking awful. Why you put the title on Maxine Dupree when she is awful in the ring and she's just a paper champion? You know that she's going to be losing that title soon. They already got women lined up for her, which I will get to. So Becky ended up saying that her lawyers have advised her not to talk about it. She ended up saying, unlike Maxine Dupree and the corrupt referee, Jessica Carr, she kept saying that she follows the rules. Becky kept saying that she will get the decision overturned and get her Women's Intercontinental Championship back. She kept saying that the company will be much better for it, and the company will be better off when she gets rid of AJ Lee as well. She kept saying that AJ Lee made a big mistake coming back, an even bigger one, in costing her the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky kept saying that the biggest mistake that AJ will make is locking herself in a cage with her. So Becky kept saying that she has assembled by herself the greatest WarGames team in the history of WarGames. Absolute shit. So Becky kept saying that she has had epic battles with Asuka and has beaten her many times. She kept saying as for Kairi Sane, she saved Kairi. So she said to Nia Jax that she is powerful, that Nia Jax is powerful. Not as powerful as her. But Nia Jax did damage Becky Lynch's face. Yeah, we all remember that. So Becky kept saying that she didn't wear a mask afterward to protect her face. Becky kept saying that Lash Legend is a specimen of a woman. And she kept saying to Lash Legend that she will make her a star. Oh my god, Becky Lynch got the jokes here. Making Lash Legend a star? Give me a break. So let's head to Rhea Ripley coming out. Rhea Ripley came out, still wearing her face mask. Io then came out, and if she was followed up by Charlotte and Alexa. AJ Lee then made her entrance, big ovation she got. AJ Lee then skipped down to the ring with Rhea, Io, Charlotte, and Alexa behind her. AJ then ended up getting on the mic. They all got into the ring. AJ ended up saying that the old AJ Lee would have torn Becky Lynch's face off. She kept saying, but therapy works. AJ kept saying that all this bravado and tearing people down only to lift herself up is insecurity. And that's fear. AJ ended up saying that she doesn't need to run her mouth to lift herself up. And she knows exactly who the hell she is. She kept saying that she doesn't need to bark like an angry little chihuahua. She kept saying that she doesn't bark. She bites. And of course, she was talking about Becky Lynch here. You know, things that Becky is doing now, AJ won't do. So AJ ended up saying that Becky reminded her of that. And that Becky lit a fire in her. AJ ended up saying that these women by her side poured gasoline on it. And AJ ended up saying that Becky has made a mistake by locking herself in the cage with her. AJ ended up saying that she will let the old her out. And that AJ isn't the only one who can't wait. So Rhea Ripley ended up going to speak. And she ended up smashing Nia Jax in the face with the mic. And we got a brawl breaking out between these women. Of course, Lash Legend ended up taking Io down. Lash Legend and Nia Jax ended up clearing out the ring. Alexa Bliss and AJ Lee sneaked up behind and jumped on Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Charlotte and Rhea ended up big booting Lash Legend and Nia Jax out of the ring. And of course, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley ended up doing DX Suck It. So Io then ended up going up to the top, and she delivered a moonsault off the top rope, took out everybody on the floor. Becky Lynch avoided all that. She cowardly backed up the aisleway. And pretty much that was basically that. Awful segment this was. Did not even care. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Sikoa versus Penta. Quarterfinal match, and the last time is now tournament. Winner of this match will face Gunther. And what a terrible end to this match, where there's a point where Penta was on the barricade. He came off the barricade with a flying hurricanrana. Penta was shown pulling on his arm and holding his shoulder. I think Penta dislocated his shoulder there. And the match came to a halt. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, ref called for the bell. Sikoa won the match because Penta was not cleared to continue competing. So Penta is injured. I dislocated that shoulder there. So Sikoa won the match. Sikoa will face Gunther in the semifinals of the tournament. Man, this tournament is cursed. First, Sheamus out of the tournament, injured. And now Penta. Yeah, so there you go. We got to get Sikoa versus Gunther in the semifinals. And then we had Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was with Maxxine Dupri, the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Dupri ended up saying to Adam Pearce that she's going to call Natalya to keep putting in the work to keep the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, that's not going to last long. So Pearce ended up liking that. He ended up wishing Maxxine Dupri a happy Thanksgiving. Maxxine Dupri walked off, and she was then confronted by Ivy Nile. And I'm like, wow, they found Ivy Nile. So Ivy Nile ended up saying that the Women's Intercontinental Championship belongs to her. So yeah, we got Ivy Nile showcasing. They called her out of catering. And then Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez confronted Maxxine Dupri. Adam Pearce quickly interrupted, to which Pearce ended up telling Dupri to call Natalya as soon as she can. There you go. We got Ivy Nile, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez already confirmed Maxxine Dupri. They want a shot at the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, so really want one of them. Roxanne Perez, I hope she gets to face Maxxine Dupri for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Roxanne Perez will be the one to take the title off of Maxxine Dupri. That's how the way I will book it. Have Roxanne Perez take the title from Maxxine Dupri. Roxanne Perez, new Women's Intercontinental Champion. And then when Liv Morgan comes back, you do that. You have Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan takes the Women's Intercontinental Championship off of Roxanne Perez. There you go. That's how I would book it. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had a promo from Stephanie Vaquer, the Women's World Champion. Vaquer ended up saying that everyone told her not to trust Nikki Bella, but she took Nikki in as a friend. Then Nikki turned on her. Stephanie Vaquer ended up saying that she knows Nikki Bella's history, but Nikki knows nothing about her. She has saying that if Nikki were smart, she'd know exactly what she's getting into. So Stephanie was like, is Nikki Bella sure she wants to get in the ring with her? And then Stephanie was like, I'll see you at Survivor Series. Yeah, the match that I don't give a fuck about, and none of you probably will give a shit about. Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella for the Women's World Championship. Can you imagine if Nikki Bella wins the Women's World Championship? Yeah. Get the pitchforks, everybody. Main event. WarGames Advantage Tag Team match. The Usos versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. If I have not seen a main event that was this ice cold. Jeez. What a boring main event this was. The crowd didn't even really care for this match. This match was ice freaking cold. So Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre end up winning the match because Logan Paul rolled Jimmy Uso up. We had Cody Rhodes and CM Punk on the outside. They end up running down on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So I'm like, yeah, the heels, they should get the advantage going into WarGames. The heels should get the advantage over the baby faces. So post-match, CM Punk immediately ended up attacking Logan Paul. We got a brawl of everybody in the ring. Roman Reigns headed to the ring. He ended up wiping out both Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Superman punches. Reigns got into the ring. He ended up sending McIntyre over the top rope. Reigns ended up hitting Logan Paul with the Superman punch. He then delivered a Superman punch to Drew McIntyre. And of course, we had the credits come up and the trademark, the copyright trademark. But then you think that the show is over. Nope. Brock Lesnar comes out. Brock Lesnar comes out alongside Paul Heyman. This was the best part. This second was better than the whole main event match. So Brock Lesnar does his, thing where he goes like, and then he gets his pyro. He slips. He slips as his pyro is going off. And he did a whole backwards somersault, which that got me laughing. That got me hysterical laughing. Never have I seen Brock Lesnar botch his own entrance. So that whole segment of Brock botching his entrance was better than the main event. So he put his cowboy hat on Braun Breaker. Brock Lesnar then ended up standing with the guys. They got into the ring. Brawl breaks out. And that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, ice cold of a main event this was. It was boring. Like I said, the only best thing to come out of what happened after this main event was Brock Lesnar slipping during his entrance. But overall, very mediocre Monday Night Raw this was. This Monday Night Raw did nothing to hype us up for Saturday for Survivor Series. But mediocre show this was. But anyway, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until next video, I'll see you all later.